Plant these in July, and you could be setting your garden up for its best year yet. Most people think that once summer is in full swing, the opportunity to plant has already passed. They assume it's better to wait until spring, leaving empty spaces in their garden for months. But that's not always the case. In fact, July can be one of the best times to plant many hardy perennials because the warm soil encourages rapid root growth before cooler weather arrives. With consistent watering during their first few weeks, these plants have plenty of time to establish themselves, meaning they'll come back stronger, fuller, and more vigorous next year. So, why do some gardens seem to get thicker and more beautiful every season while others stay patchy no matter how much work goes into them? The answer isn't buying more plants every year. It's choosing perennials that naturally spread, form larger clumps, and create lasting structure. These are the plants that continue improving your landscape long after you've planted them. Here on Primal Gardening, we're all about choosing smarter plants that give you long-term results with less effort. In today's video, we're looking at 7 outstanding perennials that are perfect for planting in July and will reward you for many seasons to come. Let's get started. Plant number 1, coneflower. Coneflowers are one of the most dependable perennials you can grow, and they're perfectly suited to being planted in July. Because they're naturally adapted to sunny, warm conditions, they establish surprisingly well during the summer as long as they're watered regularly while settling in. Instead of putting all their energy into flowers, newly planted coneflowers spend this time developing a deep root system that will support stronger growth next year. Once established, coneflowers become more impressive every season. They produce more stems, larger clumps, and an even bigger display of colorful blooms. Their striking flowers don't just brighten the garden. They also attract bees, butterflies, and other important pollinators, bringing life and movement into your landscape throughout the summer. Even after the blooms fade, the seed heads remain attractive and provide food for birds during autumn and winter. They're low maintenance, drought tolerant, and one of the easiest ways to create a garden that keeps getting better every year. Another reason coneflowers are so popular is their incredible longevity, with many plants thriving in the same location for years. As the clumps mature, they become denser and produce even more blooms, making your garden look fuller without requiring additional planting. Plant number 2, black-eyed Susan. If you want a perennial that instantly adds warmth and color to your garden, black-eyed Susan is an excellent choice. Its bright golden yellow flowers stand out from a distance and create an eye-catching display that lasts for weeks. Planting them in July allows the roots to establish while the soil is still warm, preparing the plant for even stronger growth next season. One of the reasons gardeners love black-eyed Susans is their reliability. They thrive in full sun, tolerate heat and periods of drought, and continue blooming even when many other flowers begin to slow down. As the plants mature, they gradually spread into fuller clumps, filling empty spaces and making flower beds look richer and more established. They're also excellent pollinator plants, attracting bees and butterflies that benefit your entire garden. Black-eyed Susans also make excellent cut flowers, allowing you to bring their cheerful color indoors throughout the summer. Their long blooming season ensures your garden stays vibrant long after many other perennials have finished flowering. As they slowly multiply, they help soften harsh edges and connect different sections of your flower beds. Plant number 3, hostas. Not every part of the garden receives hours of sunshine, and that's exactly where hostas shine. If you have shaded borders, spaces beneath trees, or areas that always seem difficult to fill, hostas are one of the best solutions. Planting them in July gives their roots time to settle into the warm soil before cooler weather arrives, helping them produce even larger leaves the following spring. Hostas create lush mounds of broad, overlapping foliage that quickly cover bare ground and give shaded areas a full, established look. Their leaves come in a wide range of greens, blues, and variegated patterns, adding interest even when they're not flowering. As the clumps grow larger every year, they can be divided and replanted throughout the garden, allowing you to create even more beautiful shade beds without buying additional plants. Hostas also pair exceptionally well with ferns, astilbes, and other shade-loving plants, creating rich combinations of texture and color. Their large leaves help retain moisture in the soil by providing natural shade around their roots. During summer, elegant flower stalks rise above the foliage and attract hummingbirds and pollinators. Plant number 4, coral bells. Coral bells are one of the easiest ways to add year-round color and texture to your garden because their foliage is just as attractive as their flowers. Available in shades of deep purple, bronze, silver, lime green, and caramel, these compact perennials brighten borders long after many flowering plants have finished blooming. Planting them in July gives them enough time to establish before autumn, helping them return stronger the following year. Their neat, rounded mounds work perfectly along pathways, at the front of flower beds, or beneath taller perennials where they fill empty spaces with rich color and texture. During the growing season, delicate flower spikes rise above the foliage, attracting bees and hummingbirds without taking attention away from the beautiful leaves below. As they mature, coral bells slowly expand into larger clumps, making them easy to divide and spread throughout your landscape. They require very little maintenance, yet they provide lasting beauty through much of the year. One of the greatest strengths of coral bells is that their colorful foliage remains attractive for much of the year, not just during flowering season. They provide valuable contrast alongside green-leaf plants, making nearby flowers stand out even more. Because they're compact and tidy, they're perfect for edging pathways or filling small gaps in borders. Plant number 5, sedum. Sedum is one of those plants that quietly transforms a garden without demanding much attention. Whether you choose a ground cover variety or an upright type like Autumn Joy, sedum is incredibly dependable and thrives in the heat of summer. That's one reason July is still a great time to plant it. The warm soil helps the roots establish quickly, and once settled, sedum becomes one of the easiest perennials you'll ever grow. Ground cover sedums spread slowly across the soil, creating a dense mat that helps suppress weeds and fills empty spaces between larger plants. Upright varieties develop into sturdy, rounded clumps that add structure and balance to flower beds. As summer turns to autumn, they produce clusters of tiny flowers that attract bees and butterflies when many other plants have already finished blooming. Even after the flowers fade, the dried seed heads remain attractive throughout winter, giving your garden texture during the colder months. With very little maintenance, sedum continues to expand year after year, making it an excellent choice for anyone who wants a fuller landscape without extra work. Sedum is also one of the best perennials for gardeners living in hot, dry climates where many other plants struggle. Its fleshy leaves store moisture, allowing it to stay healthy during periods of drought. As the plants mature, they form attractive clumps that require very little maintenance throughout the year. Plant number 6, daylilies. Daylilies have been a favorite among gardeners for generations, and it's easy to understand why. They're incredibly adaptable, easy to grow, and capable of producing a spectacular display with very little care. Planting them in July gives them enough time to establish before cooler weather arrives, allowing them to return with stronger growth the following season. Their graceful, arching foliage creates dense clumps that naturally fill empty spaces throughout the garden, while their colorful blooms rise above the leaves to create weeks of vibrant summer color. Although each flower lasts for only a single day, the plants produce so many buds that the overall display continues for a long time. As the years go by, daylilies grow into larger clumps that can easily be divided and replanted, allowing you to expand your garden without spending money on additional plants. They're also remarkably tolerant of heat, changing weather, and different soil types, making them one of the most dependable perennials you can grow. Daylilies are available in thousands of varieties, giving gardeners an incredible range of colors, sizes, and bloom shapes to choose from. Their vigorous growth helps fill borders naturally without becoming invasive. Once established, they require very little attention beyond occasional dividing every few years. Their combination of graceful foliage and colorful flowers adds movement and elegance to almost any garden design. Plant number 7, hydrangeas. If you're looking for a plant that instantly becomes the centerpiece of your garden, it's hard to beat a hydrangea. Their large, rounded shape and enormous flower heads create an impact that few other shrubs can match. While many people associate hydrangeas with spring planting, healthy container-grown plants can also be successfully planted in July as long as they're watered consistently while establishing. Hydrangeas do much more than produce beautiful flowers. Their dense foliage fills large spaces, creating a rich backdrop for smaller perennials growing around them. This helps give your landscape a layered, professionally designed appearance where every level of the garden feels complete. Depending on the variety, you'll enjoy massive blooms in shades of blue, pink, white, or purple that last for weeks and often dry beautifully for autumn interest. As hydrangeas mature, they become even more impressive, developing into large, well-shaped shrubs that anchor entire sections of the landscape. Combined with the other perennials on this list, they help create a garden that feels balanced, lush, and full from early summer right through fall. Hydrangeas also make outstanding foundation plants, helping frame patios, entrances, and garden pathways with their bold presence. Their large flower heads often remain attractive for weeks, giving you an exceptionally long season of color. As the shrubs mature, they create a sense of permanence that makes even newer gardens feel well established. If there's one thing to remember from today's video, it's this: creating a beautiful garden isn't about filling every empty space overnight. It's about choosing plants that continue growing long after you've planted them. The 7 perennials we've covered today don't just survive. They become stronger, larger, and more beautiful with every passing season. By planting them in July and giving them the care they need to establish, you're investing in a garden that will reward you for years to come. Here on Primal Gardening, we believe that the smartest gardens are built one great plant at a time. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest gardening tips, plant guides, and seasonal advice. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.